here. And I've seen the two up there and you two, but...
The Corporal Badass smiles and says, "Oh, just enough that could be spared in order to complete this wonderfully easy pie cake mission."
Pie cake?
The man, quirks an eyebrow. "Yes, pie cake."
What all did you bring with you?
Only the finest technical and military expertise that could be spared after so much of it was squandered or blown away.
So other than you and your friend here, you've got the C team.
The man lets out a low hiss / whistle through the nubs of his teeth.
I was thinking more along the lines of equipment. Or are you looking to cannibalize the entire base to build this new haven?
Man says, "There should be more than enough concrete and building materials spread out around this entire installation to make concentric rings a possibility. Certainly patrolling the entire acreage of this would be foolish, even with double digits.
Yeah, I've made that point a few times now.
The primary lack here is..." And he frowns and says, "Actually, I thought there'd be more people here."
None worth keeping around that we've found.
Huh. Just as well. I'm sure more people will end up coming. This military installation's probably only escaped notice out of fear of... fear of the government, which surely won't be lasting for much longer.
I feel pretty safe in assuming if you've decided it's time to splinter off, they don't have enough forces left to make you come back.
Washington has already gone into hiding. The entire seat of government snaps a gloved finger, poof, right out of existence.
Hiding out in NORAD or some other location like that, I assume.
I'd love to know what all's hidden up at Camp David right now.
And there's already talk about what's now left of the military end. You would think it would be quite a bit, what with this outbreak only happening just a short time ago, but no, it's spread all over because the government kept it bottled up, and it's traveled on boat and on plane all across, attacking everywhere. There's talk of what's left moving into the mountains by the Pacific coast, making a stand there. It'll hopefully take forever for the zombies to make their way over.
So NORAD then.
At any rate, this Dr. Knight is one of the trusted upper crust, the special echelon tier, and it's non-reg to take orders from one such as him.
Oh, believe me, I should have shot him when I had the chance.
Potman nods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know what we all did to get into his good graces. What did the four of you do?
We're not
die.
in his good graces.
We were test subjects.
Did a whole lot of not dying.
Technically saved his life.
They wanted to draft us into some sort of special force to go and fight the outbreak.
I don't know.
No, that's what they wanted.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was supposed to watch you guys.
The hulking monstrosity gives a perplexed look at the four of you, clearly civilians.
Did they talk to you?
Yeah.
Or was I just not paying attention?
Yes, the general. I think it was the general.
Which
or was it
general?
Daisy?
Yeah, I think that was...
The
I still think
only
that was
general
hallucination.
from...
There was a couple generals.
I'm pretty sure there was only one.
They had us really doped up.
Like, really bad.
He talked about wanting us to volunteer
Like,
to go on some special mission.
wow. Doped up.
While we might only be civilians, we survived close to what seems like it might have been ground zero.
Yeah, we dragged almost a dozen people out of that base.
You bodily drug a couple of them, didn't you?
I physically drug people out of that. Dragged? Drug?
Drug?
Dragged?
You
People out of
physically
that base.
drugged people in that base.
Carried one, dragged another.
No, we were drugged.
Yes.
Yeah, I was drugged and dragging.
Anyways, we're not in Knight's good graces.
We might be still in Knight's good graces, we just, I don't know.
There's a touch of irony there, that you saved him. Joke is that he's the zombie master, but with all the knowledge and know-how he has.
Yeah, we kind of figured that part out after he basically betrayed us.
We spent like a week.
He tried to,
break his legs.
after we saved him, he escaped and locked the door behind him.
He tried to leave us for dead in a bunker where they were studying this.
So yeah, not really in good graces.
That's why I assumed you would come to, I don't know, get people that might know more about how we could hurt him.
The Magic said, I don't much care about him. You'll meet his own end. I care more about surviving. And the less I see of him, the more of that I can do.
Who else was still with him?
Oh, he had this... He looks over towards Riggs. She was a hot little number. Damn, for the life of me, I can't remember her name.
Cross.
Yeah, that was it. Cross.
Where'd you last see them, anyways? You shut your dirty mouth.
I knew this was gonna happen.
No, he
Technically, Colette was the last part. Or random grocery store woman.
Oh, man. And he says, oh, we flew in straight from the capital before the upper tier evacuated. I imagine he was part of that, and her. And at this point, Riggs actually speaks, and he says in a whispery, perhaps even scarred voice, she did not seem like she was enjoying it that much.
It's because she was a hostage.
Hostage to power, not the first time. The technical bat Riggs, I suppose it's called, actually looks at Fletch with an appraising eye and says, you seem to have an interest in her.
Are you saying that neither of you did?
Riggs
Give him
actually,
kind of a quirked eyebrow.
Riggs actually, gives an accepting. You're like, yeah, that sounds legit to me.
Kind of shrugs and nods along, like, yeah, like, you get me.
You guys! It's not the guys who get me here.
These fuckers just keep blocking my every chance. I'm trading them up.
Oh, shit.
Well, if we're going to do this...
So if we're going to do this...
I'm trying to think of a tactful way to basically say, what sort of leadership structure are you looking for?
Looking for a tactful way? Or is that the way it's gonna go?
Let's just pretend it was a tactful way of saying who's leading the shindig.
Sure.
Who's
Me?
the boss?
The Holy Monstrous says,
Well, the biggest grot, obviously.
Now, I would very much like to claim an autocratic rule over this sort of matter. I do have the know-how and the technique and the expertise. And he sighs and says, however, it might be the bourbon in me talking. Looks over at Potman. The man who grows the food might have the final say.
Gonna go ahead and say that that's
I'm not
probably a
decisive
bad
enough.
idea.
Let's.
No offense to Eugene.
No, I'm aware of my shortcomings. I'm not decisive enough.
Basically, I want to know whether you're going to try to rule us with an iron fist.
He snorts and says, I think I can safely say I've been ruled by an iron fist enough. I don't much care.
Yeah, we don't want to become hostages to power ourselves.
Shrugs. Not that I could exactly enforce you, the four of you, to be compliant anyway, even if I wanted to be.
You should probably know if they told you anything about us that we're not exactly the most cooperative.
Sure. At any rate, this is, and he, does, a little spin move with, his hand, just sort of a nonchalant, woohoo, jazz hands. This is supposed to be a survival thing, and we'll all need to, actually, I'll need to work together with civilians in order to make that happen as...
Does it with just jazz hands and air quotes? He's like, work together. Wait a second.
It almost seems like the idea of it is so repulsive to him to work with civilians on this matter of safety. He would so much prefer it being trained individuals of an army, but this is what he's got.
I'm glad he holds us with such high regard.
Yeah. We're the start of his great survival.
If only he walked up on us a few days ago when we were carrying a miniature armory with us.
Yeah.
I blew up 2 cars. Come on.
Yeah.
He's not openly expressing disgust, but it is clear that he thinks he's settling here.
We didn't get our weapons back, but did we get our armor back?
You,
I don't remember.
Only lost your ranged weaponry. You do
Okay,
have your
so
armor.
Potman is still wearing military-grade armor.
Alright.
Yeah, from the bunk.
So's Cat.
Yep. Chest armor, though.
The jazz hand, air quote, ends up turning into a shrug and says, but I figure if anything, some of your luck might rub off on me. After all, you survived apparently what's so close to ground zero. Maybe I just want to be in your circuit.
That's fine, although I will say it's gotten much worse since Summer Meadow.
The eyes just sort of narrow a bit as he seems to scrutinize all of your numerous injuries.
I was shot 2 days ago.
None of us have been bitten, if that's what you're worried about.
Potman was bitten 3 months ago, but...
Shut the fuck up. His own military cleared him.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. You say my military.
His own
military.
would be... Yeah,
Okay.
motioning towards...
Yeah,
that.
no, I get it now.
Yes, Potman's military.
Well...
Once again, the two of them seem content to let you four talk it out.
The Reefer Commandos.
I like it.
Do you say that out loud, the Reefer Commandos?
If Potman starts talking about their own, or his... Pretending he has his own... Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that point, both of the two of them...
Everybody calls him Potman. They were going to figure it out.
Man.
The two of them who were looking at each other then, slowly rotate their heads, and the big man, narrows his eyes again at Potman.
You holding, bro?
Hello?
Is that what you meant when you said you were a farmer?
I said, that's what I meant when I said I was a grower. How do you think I know how to use hydroponics stuff?
Still more experience than you guys have.
Right. Well, that's settled. What have you found?
There's a big hydroponics lab.
Like really big.
Really big.
Like, we won't have to worry about farming out in the open.
Well,
We'll
once
have
we
to
get it working,
cleaned
right,
up.
eventually.
it needs a lot of cleaning.
How long's that gonna take?
I don't know. I haven't read all of the operational manual yet.
It also depends how fast you can get rid of all the dead fish in rotting Platt Manor.
Yeah, and get more fish in there. We're not sure if there's a stock of fish eggs.
It'll take a while.
You got the
We
power-
still haven't figured out how much work there is to do, let alone
Even-
started on it. We just got here.
Even
Like
if we
yesterday.
started planting outside in the meantime, today, it would take a while before anything would grow.
When you landed here, we were looking for canned goods.
Yeah, the scavenging that none of us wants to do for the rest of our lives does have to continue for a while.
Corporal Badass says, there should actually be a cache of food somewhere down there in that rat maze. The Army salvage wouldn't have moved all those MREs either. That would have been stupid.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of dark
Well-
and shitty down there.
Yeah, and there's like some bodies down there too.
We've,
Also- It's like
the lighting part should not be a problem for now. The bodies part, didn't see those. How
Well, it was
many?
dark.
There's
At
at
least
least one. And I saw some bloody, I don't know, torture implement, butchery tools, and some sandwiches.
Look, I think we killed a pair of cannibals before you got here. And I mean like talking ones, not the moaning type.
At least one you didn't smash his head.
I smashed the head of the one that was still upstairs, and then he threw one
One
down.
of them fell down an elevator shaft.
He had some help.
Which means that that damn thing could be wandering around if it actually does animate.
It wouldn't be
Yeah,
too
we're
hard
not
to
sure
get
if it does. We've never stuck around
It really
or
doesn't
failed to
matter.
crush the head.
It wouldn't be too hard to go down there with a few flashlights and find it.
It'd be
come
right
to
at the
us.
bottom.
Flashlights won't be an issue, or shouldn't be. The place should remain lit.
You want us to show you where the place we threw it was?
Shake his head. I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah, I really don't think it'll be a problem.
Besides, it'll be something exciting if it does animate and slowly stalks us through the winding mazes for years.
I think it's not going to do much stalking. A lot of its bones are broken.
I think he's going to do a lot
we
of
have seen
crawling and
some
moaning.
zombies that explode
Yeah,
and
that's a thing.
climb.
I tried to forget about that, Eugene.
Well, you shouldn't.
Look, I'll remember the rats, but just don't bring up the
Oh
exploding.
god, the rats.
Oh, Jesus, the rats.
Do you know anything about other equipment down there?
Whistles through his teeth and says, well, hoping to run into a few surplus vehicles to at least help patrolling better.
Yeah,
Talking about the classified stuff.
Classified stuff, no. This
Do-
place
do-
was shut down too long ago. Dr. Knight carried his research elsewhere.
do you have any idea of how to protect against zombie rats? Because that's the kind of thing I'm really worried about. It's not the walkers that you need to...
You keep the ground very clear.
The hulking monstrosity sitting down on the bench behind the bed says, remember, concentric rings of solid, impenetrable terrain.
Oh!
Gonna have to
I
make
can
it really
metalwork.
smooth too.
What did you say?
Metalworking, I'm good at it.
He actually said, splendid. But the food comes first.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to starve to death before we've got the first ring up.
That shouldn't take too long. The C team, he actually casts a glance over at the helipad, are industrious.
See,
Cool. All right.
Speaking of which, and he actually leans over and shouts at the helipad, and the loud, booming, commanding voice easily carries, Zane! Crash! Get your asses over here!
Megatron is calling you.
It's right. And both of them, they hurriedly scamper into view. This is not sort of a proper military approach. It's like they've realized that they're no longer a part of the official military.
A little drinking on the job kind of gives that away.
Yep.
You know, they both come to a hurried stop and they fumble with a salute, sir. And
Salute a corporate.
He is an officer.
Retards.
yeah, he's an officer and everything. He commands the fire team.
Thank you,
Not an
officer.
officer.
Sitting down on the bench, he points with a hand and towards them. Zane, he handles. Well, what do you handle, Zane? You're actually not good for much of anything. Yeah, he's not important anyway. Zane, these fine folks were here first. They'll be helping us along. He points at Batman. That man is a farmer. His survival is of the highest priority, except for your own. Sometimes. Remember that. Zane looks absolutely horrified.
I'm essentially a medic.
She knows how to bandage people.
The monster, the
Completely.
Hulk, ends up pointing at the other one. This is Crash. He points at the grenade launcher. He knows how to utilize explosives to get the job done, so he's actually more useful than Zane. Proper application of explosives can help if the salvage teams have left anything behind encased in anything, which they might. Building instabilities my ass.
You should be careful with the explosives. There's a giant, terrifying egg down there.
Well, that's describing it in the absolutely worst way possible.
Zane and Crash stop being terrified enough to give a confused look at Potman. Riggs
Okay.
gives a confused look at
Okay, you know how when you hit a zombie with an axe and you open them up and there's all that gold stuff in there?
That works too.
We don't really know what it is. It's one of those classified things I was asking
It's like
about.
a golden shiny metal thing.
There was something
Inside-
about it being radioactive.
Like the color their
don't-
eyes turn.
Remember anything about that?
You guys have seen zombies up close, right?
I mean, the
Unless
people
you're
that they
referring to the
talk
zombie thing being radioactive.
about- Yeah, that.
Stop me if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I get
the
the
ones that-
impression these guys haven't dealt with things nearly as bad as we have.
No.
the four of you are the four of them are still looking at Potman.
Oh, okay, so the golden stuff, there's a giant egg of it buried underground. It's
I'm
hollow.
pretty sure it's the same stuff.
It looks like, I mean, it's hard to tell, but that stuff's not normal. It's probably what Knight was researching.
You might want to ask. Can I just peer around Tony and Eugene and point at Fletch? Hey, he was in there longer.
Nothing different happened. Nothing happened at all, really.
Okay, cool.
The four of them are still looking at Potman.
This is creeping me out. Why aren't you guys talking? Hi.
Anyways,
The corporal like grits his teeth and lets out a pained sigh. So that's Zane. That's Crash. Zane pretends to be useful. Hey! Crash, he blows things up. We might visit this so-called egg room of yours. I like your description of it. It sounds wonderful.
I'm sure we're going to find a lot of weird things down there.
More evocative than anything Knight ever told me about this place.
As far as we can tell, that entire complex used to be hidden.
But really, you guys have fought zombies before, right?
All four of them go back to falling silent, just looking at Potman.
Because, I want to know if...
I'm gonna be honest with you, Eugene. I think anybody still alive at this point has fought the zombies.
Or unless they're just good at running.
Even Knight
We
has
haven't fought
the
that
zombies, and he
Well-
was apparently super important to them. Of
Sorry,
course,
didn't
they threw these guys at the zombies.
What did I click?
You've given
You
yourself a
killed
state.
You're unconscious now.
There, I
I
fixed it
clicked
for you.
something. I'm sorry.
Cat falls unconscious.
Yeah, just from
The
the sheer
stupidity of the
stupidity.
conversation
Yeah.
overwhelmed her.
Just can't stand it. Lose my cool.
It, everyone, at least Zane and Crash, they look back towards the corporal, like their confused look, like how the hell do we handle this situation? The corporal actually looks over to Riggs, and Riggs says, "I hope you're a better farmer than you are a conversationalist."
And like I said, he's good at what he does.
How much is that?
I mean, I've got a brick of some really good product on me. You guys want to try some?
For you three others who are actually of moderate use, the corporal calls out, "Breaker!" And, it's actually, from the roof, that a shout comes down. Like, "I see them!" And the corporal points at the gentleman who's standing up on the roof now. He was entrenched in the position. Says, "That's Breaker. He's great at spotting and laying down death, which is a welcomed moment. You can entrench yourself again." And Breaker says, "Okay," and he, peels it down. And then finally there's Ace. He's a drunkard. He just flies planes and helicopters and talks about the good old days and American conspiracies.
Hey, you found
Oh, well, Eugene, you're gonna get along great.
A friend.
Not a friend.
because you don't have any here.
I mean, a friend.
The corporal then points a thumb at Riggs. "That's Riggs. Don't let his looks fool you. He is a master at seduction, and he's the one who got the power back on."
Hey,
I don't want to make the stupid comment.
Skilled with his fingers, right?
Very. Or so I hear. Corporal then
I was
gives
gonna go with the what did he do? Seduce the generator.
Despite, the headscarf, you can see, the form of a scowl take place. And Corporal says, "Finally, I am Jax, the destroyer of worlds, and hopefully survivor of this shit."
nice to meet you.
Want to do what type of check would be made to tell whether he's just making shit up on the spot now? Because that sounds like some Potman shit there.
His name is Jax, the Destroyer of Worlds and survivor of this. He's probably not the Destroyer of Worlds.
I'm pretty sure he has never in his lifetime destroyed a single world.
Well,
And something else beat him to this one.
He's probably destroyed microcosms.
he
Wasn't
might have
it sort of
destroyed
old?
ant worlds.
As a child with a magnifying glass.
Yes, his name, as he's introduced himself to you, is Jax. And the four of you, if intel is correct, and he begins pointing from left to right, Kathlyn, Maverick, skips over Eugene, Anthony Ramirez, the most stubborn and obstinate one, Jeremy Fletcher, and then he goes back to Eugene and he says, Farmer.
Farmer MacGannigan. It's got a nice ring to it.
Farmer MacGannigan, I like it, yes.
Hey, I mean, sure.
We gotta give you a less masculine name. Farmy. Something stupid and whimsical to befit your personality. I'm sure the others will come up with something.
I've got it. Elf Boy.
Elf boy.
Hey, I'm just saying, Farmer's a lot more legitimate than any other MacGannigan's ever been.
Elf boy MacGannigan. I like it.
All right.
Pounds the table in approval.
All right.
Henceforth, Elf boy MacGannigan. Good work, Fletcher.
Are we giving out nicknames? Or are we receiving nicknames?
So, Elf boy, what are you doing standing there? Why don't we take a look around your farming facility? Get an
All right.
eye on the situation.
Sure, just fair warning, really smells like rotten fish.
Corporal looks like he's had like a blue screen of death. Like his eyelids like flutter.
All right, come on, follow me.
He's not just
Yeah.
being silly, it really does.
It really smells like rotten fish.
Maybe
There's dead
we
fish
should
everywhere.
just go back and start planning defenses.
Oh, come on, I'll give you the tour. Come take a look.
Potman's not gonna take no for an answer.
The Jax stands up from the bench. Riggs stands up as well. Jax says, "All right then, Elf boy, show us the way."
Yeah, I really prefer Bulldog, but come on. Freight train works too.
Citadel.
Citadel's fine.
Weed corpse.
Yeah, no, I don't like that one. Anyway, you want to hit from this? It's good stuff. Made the
Are
bump
you
too.
stalling?
No, I'm walking. Come on.
Where are you walking?
Potman's gonna fucking book it to UC.
He's
Do you want to walk over there, or should we just fly, or are you going to leave the chopper up there?
take the battle wagon.
Yeah, we're going to have like 9 guys hanging off of it, one of
Yeah.
which is larger than the forklift to begin with.
You already had
hit.
me. I was larger than the forklift.
Yeah.
You're like 6'3". This guy's got a good, 9 inches on you.
Aw.
She's not that much Yeti. She's only like half Yeti.